It began to come out of the closet, I guess you could say, and out of the bedrooms and served even more openly. Soon, during the 18th century, tea gardens became popular. The whole idea of the tea garden was so that ladies and gentlemen could enjoy tea together outside while they were surrounded by entertainment. They attracted everybody, including Mozart and Handel. Anyone familiar with Mozart and Handel? Yes, yes. Lots of us will be hearing a lot about Handel pretty soon, with Christmas season coming up. You might be seeing the Messiah, or you might be involved in a church program with the Messiah. The tea gardens made tea all the more fashionable to drink. Plus, they were important places for men and women to meet freely. Now, the history of afternoon tea became fashionable once again with Catherine. The actual taking of tea in the afternoon developed into a social event. An event sometime in the late 1830s and early 1840s. Jane Austen even hints of it in an unfinished novel of hers in 1804. It is said that the afternoon tea tradition was established by Anne, Duchess of Bedford. She requested that light sandwiches also be brought to her in late afternoon because she had a sinking feeling in between her lunch and dinner time. Thus began the tradition of a high tea. High tea, what we experience as Americans and enjoy mostly during the afternoon, was actually what they would have called their dinner. It was served with meat. And it would be enjoyed by not only the lords and ladies of the houses, but also by servants, laborers, miners, all kinds of people would enjoy high tea because once again, that would have been their dinner. There are other types of teas. There is a cream tea. There is a low tea. There is also a royal tea. Now the differences between these, a cream tea is a simple tea consisting of scones, clotted cream, marmalade or lemon curd, and tea. So it is a very light tea. There's not much serving with it. The low tea or afternoon tea that they would call is actually an afternoon meal, including sandwiches and scones, clotted cream or curd, and 2 to 3 teas. The royal tea is a social tea served with champagne, either before or after your taking of tea. Now, there is also some etiquette with taking of tea. So the etiquette of taking tea. After sitting down, we would put our handbag either in our lap or we would put it on the back of our chair, so it is not in our way. Our napkin placement would then be unfolded and placed in your lap. Courtney, my pocket sister. And place it in your lap. Exactly. Now sugar and lemon, some people like to add those to their tea. Some people like to sweeten their tea up a little bit. Sugar is placed in the cup first. Then a slice of lemon. Milk is never added until after your tea is poured. The correct order when eating on the tea tray, that is the 3-tiered trays in front of you in the center of your table. Your savories are first. That would be the top of your tea tray there. You actually eat those first. The scones are next, and your sweets are last. We have changed the order a little bit with American teas. This how they would be traditional. Scones are split horizontally with a knife. Curd or cream is placed on a plate and use the knife to put the curd or cream on each bite. Eat with fingers neatly. The proper placement of the spoons. Once you are stirring your tea, the spoon always goes behind the cup. Never in front or to the side. Always behind. And the proper holding of the cup. Nowadays, you would not hold our pinky up. Tradition would have it that they did that because when tea first started, when Catherine first began having tea in the afternoon, she used Chinese teacups. Chinese teacups do not have handles. Okay? So therefore she would hold it on either side, lift to her pinkies, and then drink like this, and then place it back down on her saucer. Because we have the handle today, you would hold it, yes, as Courtney's showing here, with the index finger through the loop, the thumb supporting it, and your other 2 or 3 fingers holding underneath. Probably how you would typically hold it, actually. Now, in actually pouring yourself a cup of tea, we have what we call little strainers. So because your tea is brewed with actual tea leaves, okay, you would put your strainer over the top of your teacup, and then you would pour your tea through the strainer. This would be
when you're holding the teapot to pour, you take 2 fingers, you put it through the handle, and your thumb goes on the lid. You don't hold it like that when you're pouring the tea. The lid will come off, and all the boiling water inside the tea will fall on your lap.
And we do not want that.
And we don't want that.
So you pour the tea through the strainer, and that is to catch any escaping tea leaves. And then as far as whether to hold or not hold your saucer, the only time you would actually hold your saucer is if you were not sitting at a table like we are today. You would place your saucer in your lap, holding it with your left hand, and your teacup with your right. And bringing it up then closer to you as you take a sip, and then you would put it down, and then put it back in your lap. Also, when you are taking a sip of tea, you never want to look over the teacup. You want to look in your teacup. Okay? You want to look in your teacup and not over your teacup. Okay? And then there's one other little etiquette I want to make sure that you know about. When you're stirring your tea, taking your teaspoon, you want to start from the back of your teacup, move forward and fold over. Okay? Move forward and fold over. From the back to the front, move forward and fold over. So your spoon kind of does a little somersault within the teacup. And it's also the one to not make living room. Catherine may have had this more down pat than we do. Because I do So I hope y'all have enjoyed this little history on tea and some tea etiquette. Again, thank you so much for being here today. It is a pleasure to have all of you ladies, and we would love for you to come back sometime. And we'll talk to you again here at our tea room. Have a great day.
on your stand, but I just want to go over what's on them in case anybody has any allergies. On your top tray is the scones. We have the maple and brown sugar scones, the chocolate chip scones, and the maple scones. There's no brown sugar or any other maple scones. You should be able to tell the difference. If you can, as we walk around, you can ask. On the second tray was the traditional adult sandwiches. They have cucumber sandwiches. There are egg salad sandwiches, which is little round sandwiches. And then there was a non-traditional frise sandwich, which has mozzarella and basil mayonnaise and tomatoes. On the bottom layer was the Hughes sandwiches, which was the peanut butter and jelly and the grilled cheese. On the tables in front of you